Hello, so this is going to be my sort of analysis for This Time or From Shadows Part 2 from the RWBY soundtrack. So this one's like interesting because like this has been out the longest because we got it obviously in the credits, like the whole thing pretty much, and well, it's probably been analysed to pieces now, so like, what do I say? But I just think if I'm going to analyse the songs, I'm going to analyse the songs, you know. But everything like about some of the stuff that I knew about the song or thought about the song already has been confirmed. Like I was a big the male voices Gira believer, so when that got confirmed, it was like, nice. Honestly, if I'd like done all these videos earlier, probably would have been sounded more like an achievement, but I feel validated. That's okay. It doesn't matter. But yeah, so this is Blake and Gira, and arguably some other characters as well. I had to go on RWBY Wiki to find lyrics. I didn't have people naming, like people assigning different lyrics to the characters because I didn't want that to like influence what I was thinking. But yeah, let's go. I love it, the mixture of From Shadows, that piano sort of bit, with this more dramatic. Yeah, I'm hyped. Interrupt it there. Yeah, so I mentioned about the music. I like it because it's hype, you know, like I am amped up, you know. I think that's the point, because despite the horrible situation about the splinter group of the White Fang, which is attacking the schools, and the fact that the world is sort of ending, it's like, well, we're not dead yet. We can still fight. Let's go. And it's like, I love that positive. It's like a positive negative energy. It's not like ignoring the negative aspects of what's happening. It's saying, well, we can do something about it. We need to do something about it. There's got like this air of, it is desperate. They're asking people like, we need you to fight. We can't do this alone. If we try, you know, we'll probably die. We need you to fight with us. So they're recruiting people to save the school, which, because the schools are such pillars in the remnant society, it's sort of helping to save, well, all of Remnant, or at least the specific country. And, sorry, I get countries mixed up. I just focus on learning characters' names, and that does me, you know? I'm forgetful, I apologise. But the point is, like, they have to recruit people to fight, because obviously doing nothing is doing something. Because doing nothing is letting Adam attack schools in the name of the fairness, and doing something is saving innocent lives and stopping the horrible things that Adam's doing. So there's no like, I don't want a part of it, which is obviously what the people of Menagerie want. They just want to chill. Like if someone went up to me and was like, hey, come fight in this war with me, I'd be like, no. But like, they have to. There's no stepping out of it. There's no peaceful life anymore. They have to fight for the chance to have a peaceful life, and you get, now is the time you must fight for your lives and stuff like that. The battle is on, you're already inside. Whether or not they signed up for the fight, they're in the fight. Now they just have to actually choose to arm themselves and to step forward. This is the only way they can stop Adam and stop the issue. They have to take him out. Interesting use of lyrics here. Oh, this music though. The pause didn't work. That music is hype. I've said that so many times, like take a shot every time I say that word. But this is arguably the most encouraging song in the Volume 5 soundtrack. Either this or The Triumph by far. There are some angsty songs here. But this is, we can do it. And I like that. Obviously you get similar themes in Triumph, but this isn't the Triumph analysis. It's like, so this time, this is what we're going to do. This version of the White Fang, because obviously you've got like the past, because Gira is part of the song. So you've got his version of the White Fang that was peaceful, and then you get Adam's splinter group, which is not peaceful and is actively, well, evil. And you get Sienna's, which was like, it had a balance. Like, she wouldn't attack people, but she would push back, you know. Like, Adam's attacking people that, like, just students who haven't done anything. If Sienna ordered an attack, it would be like, take down this business that refuses to serve fairness. Like, there was like reasoning that was implied. But so you have all these different generations and types of the White Fang, different times, and it's like this one, which sort of like the new old White Fang sort of thing. Blake's White Fang in the future, maybe. That'd be a nice turn of fate. But not right now. Right now, they have to fight and take down Adam's group to restore the White Fang to its peace-orientated roots. But there's this whole idea of becoming higher. It's like, we'll climb, enlighten, and there's like a stand with you shoulder to shoulder, and out of the ashes a new flame ignite, rise up from shadows and into the light. Sort of, it's interesting to usually get that sort of perhaps celestial imagery with characters like Yang. So it's almost like maybe it's meant to relate to a phoenix, like in the fact that the old bird dies and the new one is born from the ashes. Like, they must get rid of this old White Fang to get the new, fresh and young and beautiful White Fang, if that makes sense. And I like that. It's an interesting use of lyrics, I just thought, because you never go, oh, what do I think of when I think of Blake? Oh, I think of flying and angels and phoenixes and fire. Like, no. So I like that as a White Fang analogy, more than it just relating to Blake. You've got multiple characters in this. At the very least, there is Blake and there is Gira. Some people have added Sun, some people have added Ilya, some people have even added Callie, and that's all valid. I'm not disproving that. I think this is definitely this isn't like just a duet song. This is a White Fang song. So, and obviously they are members of this new white thing. So I completely understand that view. I just didn't want to overcomplicate this by trying to get every little line to fit every specific character. If you want to do that, then like power to you. Yeah, you can. I'm wishing you luck. But obviously there's the idea of unity. And it's just like, I'll stand with you shoulder to shoulder, our futures aligned, we'll stand undivided, new brotherhood. I said that out of order, I'm so sorry. But with like Adam, it's like, I'm in charge, you must listen to me. And this is like, no, the whole point of this is equality. We're all equals, we're all family. You get brotherhood. We're all brothers, but a gender neutral term for that, we're all family. And I think that's a nice way of how do I word this? You know, with Ilya, they sort of said like Sister Ilya and stuff like that, the creepy twins. Well, that was more of a cult thing, wasn't it? That was more of a control thing, and it's like, oh no, of course we're family, and they're using that connection to manipulate her. And in this, it's like, no, we're all equal, we're all on equal footing, we're all fighting for each other, we care about each other. And I just think that's a nice way of putting that change, because that is such a fundamental change, that instead of relationships being used to manipulate, it's, well, we're fighting for what we love. And that is nice. I like that. I love the guitars. It's really difficult to find a good place to pause in this song, it's quite continuous. But I think that's the point, it's meant to be like, it's sort of like a speech, you know? Gira has his speeches, Blake has her speech, which I thought was quite a good speech. You know, she's not one for public talking, but she did a good job. And the sort of relentless sort of singing, and it's like, no, we need your help, is obviously reflecting of their efforts to get people to come together, because they didn't, like, if they stopped doing that in the series, there was generally a reason to them to stop recruiting people, like the whole Ilya situation. Like, they didn't just go, well, I'm gonna take a break. They spent hours, like, all day, and that when Ilya gave Blake that note to meet up with her, you know, like, Blake wasn't originally going to do that. She was going to go to the nocturnal district, so they were spending all day and all night just trying to get people to listen to them. And I think this reflects in the song with that singing. It does make it difficult to pause, but like, that's okay. And it just reinforces over and over, and you do get the idea that they've gone door to door and they've like said the same thing without saying the same thing each time, to try and see if their words struck a chord in people. And it's just like, this warning is dire, my words you must hear, like, this is really important. A kingdom in shambles and a kingdom in shambles, our downfall is near. It's all just coming back to saving the school, saving lives, saving the kingdom. But yet I still believe that the peace we'll achieve is growing closer. But first, blood must spill like a wine at a feast. The calm only comes once the carnage has ceased. It's just like I thought that was quite. The first bit does sound like a protagonist thing. The second bit it does not fit a traditional protagonist, but obviously it's been implied that some of our characters are morally flexible at the very least. Like, they all have to fight, so they're all pro-fighting in some aspect, and you do get that with this. Blood must spill like a wine at a feast, like the wine at a feast. That is striking imagery for a start. That's a good lyric, but it's not just like from Shadows when Adam's just like, we're gonna take out humanity sort of blood. It's like, we have to fight to achieve this peace. If there was another way we would do that, but this is actually, for once, fighting is the only way. But we're not gonna fight innocent people, we're just gonna stop Adam from fighting innocent people. If I'm making sense, I do hope that this analysis has made sense. Sorry, my mouse is glitching. I think this is an important part. So I think that bit, that quiet bit, is quite important. Sort of, this is what truly separates it from Shadows. I mean, that's a great way of ending a song for a start. I do definitely. I am a fan of the guitar. I think you have to be to like the RWBY soundtrack. But that sort of reprieve, maybe, before the climax of the song, is just like the perfect sort of summary of what Blake and this new White Fang is going to stand for. And it just shows, obviously it means so much more when you have like the context of the show, because obviously we know all the stuff like it's time and this time is now, but obviously like the world sees what we're made of, we change despite to love, to save our fate and walk beside the human race. That, it's like Adam's White Fang had made so many people twist, and it's sort of disturbing how many people, and I think that's the point, you know, radicalisation is horrible because they can get people like Blake and manipulate them, and Ilya, who was quite broken, and just twist them until they're not even themselves anymore. And I think that's the world sees what we're made of. Because although Blake and Ilya were part of Adam's White Fang, fundamentally that's not who they were. That's not what they were made of. And changed the spite to love. They'd gone from being loved and loving people to being spiteful people that hurt innocent people, and now they're back to love. And I just think that's a great way of giving a sense of time and character development, and just time out into the song in just a couple of lines, because I don't think it's focused on a lot anymore. But Blake's angst is very well founded, because obviously when she was a child, I believe she was around 12, I think I read somewhere, that it was about 5 or so years ago that she was taken in by Adam, and he was this older guy that had all these ideas, and he took her in and he manipulated her, and he was an abuser, and so she had to deal with that and being separated away from her parents. And then obviously there was a bit of fallout when she left, and then there was definitely some fallout in Volume 3, and she hasn't been able to escape any of this during Volume 4 and 5. But she did do some horrible things, and that wasn't who she was, and we know that, but we've only met her after her redemption arc. So we've never seen her attack innocent people. But we know she has done that. And so for her to see Ilya and to just see herself in her friend, because like she does care about Ilya, and she knows that there's something in there worth caring about, and that there is good in her, and then she manages to help her see that, and then Ilya gets a redemption arc as well, and it's like it's not too late, and I think that's very important. And obviously, save our fate and walk beside the human race. Because in the end, Adam is spite, and Blake didn't get a word, but, well, love is sort of connected to Blake. It's not the first word I think of when I think of Blake, but it's a part of her which can't be separated and taken away. If Adam's spite, then maybe Blake is love, and this new White Fang is full of that, because in the end, they don't want to hurt people, they just want peace. Sometimes, mainly in fictional universes, you have to fight some horrible people first to achieve that, and that's what they're gonna do. And they believe they can win, and they did win, and it's a very encouraging song for me. Like, I think it's difficult to relate to real life, but I don't think that matters if you just remember the strength that the characters have shown. There is strength in forgiveness and in just acknowledging someone as not being so different to you. And it's good to take a little breather from the guitars and just to hit upon that, and then get back to the guitars, obviously, because you can't leave the guitars out the RWBY soundtrack. But anyway, I just thought that was an important thing. This turned out being longer than I expected. I'm sorry if anyone's still listening, but that was my analysis, and I hope you enjoyed it, and see you later.